good, y'all? Welcome back to my Patreon. I appreciate you tuning in. You's a real one for rocking with the realest, okay? So today's video is just going to be about, do we put too much value on sex, okay? And I really just wanted to emphasize this point because I was watching Jada Pickett's Red Table Talk, all right? And they were talking about polyamory. Now, Willow is polyamorous. Gammy is married now, and y'all know Jada and Will. Shit. Shout out to August. Y'all know what they got going on. But I found it very interesting because we got to see it from different perspectives, all right? Not only because they was all in technically different sorts of relationships, but they're all black women within different generations. Yeah, I know I've been talking about recently how, the generation before us, the generation of women before us really triggered the gender war, you know what I'm saying, that we're playing in now, you know what I'm saying, that we're trying to fight against right now. So it was interesting to see Jada, be able to see both sides of the argument because she was kind of right there in the middle. She was literally right there in the middle. But even in in a perspective sense, like she was in the middle because her experience was in the middle between when black women really stayed with their men, really made the choice to stay united with their men, and when they started to make the decision to walk on their own. The main things Gammy kept saying was that she didn't understand the concept of polyamory. She kind of just felt like it was surrounded around sex. Like that was pretty much the root of it was just sex. And honestly, I agree, because Willow, although she wasn't the only poly person on it, they brought on like three other polyamorous, they brought on a polyamorous couple and then another polyamorous black girl. But no one really said anything about the reasoning behind polyamory outside of Willow saying something about business. Now, she did say something, she did make a good point about, of course, business, having different incomes, being able to build. That was a good point. But outside of that, she really didn't say nothing that didn't have to do with selfishness or sex. Because, like I said, going back to them having three different perspectives and generations, Jada's mother, Gammy, her generation, they chose to stay with their men, to stay united, chose to have sex with that one man, so they could reproduce with that one man, so they could have a family, all right, so they could build, all right. That's really what it was about. Sex was not something that you could just play with. And especially when we talk about foundational black Americans specifically, that's what I'm talking about, the three generations, because we always didn't have the privilege of other groups of just being able to have sex whenever we wanted to. We really had to be intentional with who we had sex with, because before birth control, before abortions especially, which was really targeted for our genocide, there was no just popping a plan B. There was no just, I'm going to have something just pop on this condom and then we're going to do what we do and that's going to be that. You had to make sure you wasn't ovulating. You had to make sure you ain't had, your period wasn't on or coming on, whatever the case may be. Make sure you knew your cycle the best you could and, make sure that thing pulled out. But more importantly, you had to make sure that the person you were having sex with, if y'all did produce a child, that was the man that you knew you wanted to have sex with. That's why I was so emphasized to hold on to your virginity, to make sure that you wait until you're married, because you really couldn't risk it back then, reproducing with the wrong man. That was your protector, especially in the times of like sundown towns, segregation, when shit was really, really rough for black people, and specifically in the South, that man, whoever you chose, or whoever chose you, was your protector. So if you chose to have a man by a soft target, that just made your family a soft target. Black women have lost that value, of relationships, and put it more on sex, put it more on just how you feel, more on the pleasure of what you get out of sex. Taken away from the responsibility, the real meaning, the real purpose, the real intentions that you're supposed to have, the real intentions that you're supposed to have behind the action of sex, which is producing life, which is responsibility. And that is selflessness, in that it's not just saying, I just want to sleep with this person, I just want to have this person. And in that, you have to be careful with who you are with, because that more responsibility comes with that. What's up, y'all? I just had to interrupt because I forgot to mention another big problem is that older black women tend to be emotionally underdeveloped. A lot of them look at their past relationships with no accountability in mind. You know, they say, oh, well, I stayed in that relationship because of the kids. I stayed there because of family pressures. I stayed there because of toxic relationship. But a lot of them don't sit there and really reflect on themselves and their contribution to the marriage or to that relationship. And so now you have a lot of them who just get out of those situations and they're out here like, hey, it's hot girl summertime. I'm doing me. I'm trying to just get what I want, do what I want to do. As a matter of fact, I was just watching the live by Mrs. Right's Way. I believe she used to date Brother Plight or something like that. But she's a black woman influencer, a little older. I think she's around 30s, 40s. And she was on Instagram Live talking about how she wanted a partner, you know, to explore her the different parts of her body. Basically, she want a fuck buddy, you know? And she was trying to make it sound sweet, but it's like, girl, you have 2 kids. Why are you worried about having a fuck buddy right now? You have 2 kids. Why are you not looking for a stepfather? To each their own, but you know, that's just a good example as well. You know, back to the video. The girls on the show, like, she had like 7, I don't even understand.
She has multiple partners and doesn't consider any of them more important than the others. Aaron is her platonic life partner. Doug is her sexual partner. Alex is her boyfriend. Alex has a wife. Alex's wife has a boyfriend, Jeff. And they're all down with that.
Like, that is too... I mean, it's to a point where, like, what is the point? What do you need a platonic girlfriend for? You know? At that point, I feel like what you're doing is running from the real problem. You're running from the real issue. You know, you probably have traumas. You probably have generational curses. You know, just things that you have not worked through. That is why you're reaching out to so many people for validation, for comfort, for intimacy, for all these other things that you really could find within yourself or have balanced in one other person, to be honest. But you refuse to do the work on yourself, so now you're just finding little ways to distract yourself. You know, you're holding on to trinkets, which are people, to distract you from your real problems. As a matter of fact, even Gammy said, Willow had said, she was like, she asked Gammy, could you picture yourself loving in a group of people, you know, and loving everyone equally? And Gammy was like, no. I mean, even if you're messing with multiple men, you're usually going to put one on a high horse. You know what I'm saying? I know this because I have I'm a woman, first of all, and I have friends that have been through things like this, and myself, you know what I'm saying, who have been through things like this specifically, you know, where you think that you can have multiple men and love them all equal. It's not going to work like that, okay? One is usually the one you're in love with. The other one you just ain't got over yet. The other one is soul ties. Another one you just like the, you know what I'm saying? You just like the feeling. Y'all got the good chemistry. But it's usually just one that's in that spot that you really want. That, like, man, that's the you think is the love of your life. You think is the one y'all gonna get married. You think it's end game. You know what I'm saying? It's not usually you got 4 different niggas and they all in the same place. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? One nigga might be for dinner. One nigga might be for going out, taking trips. One nigga might be going for the club, getting hooked up at the club, whatever the case may be. But it's usually a hierarchy. They're not all on the same playing field. We can't eat our cake and we can't have our cake and eat it too. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, we should not be so focused. You know, so focused on sex, so hypersexualized. All right, it's like we need to focus on the things surrounding the things that are causing us to be so hypersexual, should I say. That's what we should be focused on, the root of the problem, not the side effects. You know, also, it's kind of bred, of course it's bred a hypersexual culture, but it's to a point where a lot of people think it's cute. You know, like, a lot of women think this is that's the wave, being the hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like, getting a bunch of, like, fucking a bunch of niggas, like, that's that's the thing now to do. There's a girl on TikTok, Erica Kane. I was following her. I think I still follow her. She makes some funny videos, all right? But she predominantly talks about how she fucks, or she got famous for how she fucked 88 niggas, or like 80 niggas, okay? 80, 88, ain't much difference, bro. That's a lot. She felt so confident to get on the internet and talk about that. And the fact that so many black women follow her and support her content and think that shit is cute, you know, it's like, it shows where we at. You know what I'm saying? It shows where our mindset is at and what we really, the value that we place on sex. Very masculine energy to be in, to be honest. You know, that's not a feminine energy to step into when you're proudly out here talking about the bodies you caught, you know? Like, you sound like a dude, to be honest. Like, yeah, I got this one nigga, he was da-da-da-da-da, that we, you know, we did that, then like, that's very masculine. You know what I'm saying? That is something that men do when they talk about that's something when they conquer. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's locker room talk. Should never be to a point where you're boastful, you know, about your body count. You know what I'm saying? Like that on the internet and think that shit is okay or that is funny, you know? Like, that's your value. You're devaluing yourself. And not only that, you're exposing to the world how you devalue yourself before. Like, we didn't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? So you just out here telling people who outside your city. I mean, I'm sure the niggas in your city know, but the niggas outside your city and everybody else who don't even know you, we're getting your face card is that you are a low value woman. You know what I'm saying? That you really don't even care that much for yourself, that you would allow 80 people inside of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, just on a fucking spiritual, on a moral, whichever, you know what I'm saying, however you want to go about it. Fuck all that. Just, you let 80 people come inside of you. Literally come inside you. That's a double entendre. Come inside of you. Baby, that's egregious. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of people. You know, that's a lot of spirits to be connecting with. You know what I'm saying? Sex is a ritual. You know, that's a lot of bonding, spiritual bonding, soul ties. God damn. We have to be careful with who we have sex with and, you know, the value and how we view sex, okay? Because this is not really something to play with. You know, you playing with life, you playing with creation when you play with sex. Yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments. What has your experience been with, so not what has your experience been with sex, but what has your experience been with how you viewed sex? You know, what have you been taught? What do you think about polyamory? Do you think that is surrounded around sex? Other than that, that is all I got. All right, y'all.
We do not play but I green. You fuck with the team, might find your West in the creek. We crossing our T's, we don't never miss a beat.